filthy hands and filthy knees produce a fruitful garden. That's a fact. Hey, how's it going, everybody? Welcome back to our recreation homestead. My name is Jason. We're going out here. I'm going to do our weekend vlog. It's going to take you real fast across some of the garden as I step over our fence and try not to bust my face. Take you across the garden, though, show you how things are growing, and show you some things struggles we've been facing, but some of the great successes we've had so far, which again, nothing's harvested, but show you how things are going and clue you in on how our garden is growing right now. Let's see, right now I'm going to show you these bush beans and our squashes. These are Contender bush beans that have been growing really well, but again, here's some of the rabbit damage they're coming off of it pretty good. Here's the other Contender bed. So we've got two beds of Contenders. These beds are about 8 foot long and about 2.5 foot wide, so there's a good amount of seeds in there. Zucchinis and squashes looking great. The rabbits are not completely gone, but we are getting closer. All right, I think we've only seen one the last couple of days, and he hasn't done too much damage. He did eat off our melons and squashes over there the other night, so we had to replant those again. And but I haven't seen him as much during the day, so we might be getting closer to being done with them. As you can see, tomatoes are looking wonderful. Here's this one's Amish paste. It's really tall. They're blooming. And there's a little bit through and pruned a lot of them the other day, just the bottoms. We'll probably have some more pruning to do at another time, but for right now, we're doing good. So overall, they're looking really good. I think we'll go through and show them all to you. Peppers looking awesome as well. But here's one of the tasks that we're going to be dealing with today, and that's having to redo the beans again. Although they are showing signs of coming out of it. So we're going to have to see exactly what we're going to replant, but that's part of the problem with the rabbit. The rabbits, you see like this, gone, gone. That's part of the problem we've been dealing with, is that between bugs eating them as they came up, and then once they tried to get out of it again, the rabbit ate the tops of them off. It's been kind of hard to grow some beans, right? So we bought more seeds, and they're Blue Lake pole beans, so I think it's like 63 days, so we've got plenty of time still. We got to remember, just approaching the middle of June, so we have time to grow beans. It's just, it's pressing. We as an avid green bean eater and connoisseur of the stringless bean or the string bean, either one doesn't matter. Beans are vastly important to us. We're having successes with a lot of things, and we grow a lot of beans typically, but we're struggling with them this year, and it's not really things we've done, it's the pest issues. So we've got to get them, and we're going to plant more and more and more. It's just that, hey, we got to get them growing just so we can have beans, because we love beans. Corn is looking solid, and it should be maybe a little better. We've had a lot of rain and cool, cloudy days, and the rabbit has ate off some of them back here in the other sections. Got some weeding we need to do, just from the amount of rain we've had lately. Weeds are popping like crazy. We probably will replant a few corn seeds, just to see, because they didn't do so well back in this pocket, back in there. Over here we got our popcorn is looking really good. Maybe replant some popcorn over in that pocket again, because again, rabbits. Overall, things are doing really good. It's just those issues that you have, like when you feel like you've done things right, you've set everything up right. Then some things happen that are out of your control. It gets a little frustrating, but you gotta persevere. Hey, the Bible talks about perseverance produces character, right? So you gotta keep fighting, and your character will be stronger for it. Pink eye purple holes, we've planted those a couple times. They're coming up pretty decent. We may replant some of those, but they are coming up. But you can see they have been ate on by something as well. Oh, that's rabbit. That's probably rabbit there. I don't know. Those are delicious. Again, one of our favorites. But it's a fight to grow them. You know what? I'm ready to fight for it though. I'm ready to fight for our food. I'm ready to fight for our security. It's just something that we value, is our garden fresh food and providing our own food and living the life that we feel God intends us to live. So we value that so much, so we're willing to fight for it. It's very valuable to us. Jackson Wonder butter peas is what these are. And it appears to be something that the rabbit does not want to eat. I don't know why that is, because these are white Dixie butter peas. It's a butter pea, but it's a different variety. He's ate on those, hasn't ate on these. I don't know why. Maybe he's ate a little bit, but nothing crazy. These have been left alone, and they're doing really good. The Jackson Wonder butter pea, which, hang on, butter peas in general, let's just be clear. Butter peas in general are amazing. Beautiful, rich flavor, full of nutrition. And so we love them a lot. They're undervalued in the home garden. And but the Jackson Wonders, maybe a little richer than the white Dixies, and they're certainly more beautiful. They produce an absolutely beautiful pod, I guess I should say, or maybe a pea inside the pod. How about that? That is very unique and as a fascinating grow, fascinating harvest. How about that? So hopefully, if you haven't seen us harvest any before or seen us talk about them before, hopefully we'll have some harvest later in the year. They take a little while to grow, but they're worth it. I'm gonna show you a few more things before we get started with our projects for the weekend. These blackberries, I think they're called Heaven Can Wait. They're a thornless, self-supporting blackberry. When I say self-supporting, it's a little it's a little misleading, because when they get heavy, they do need some support. They don't have to have it, okay? But they do need some support, just simply because they need to. It's nice to keep the berries up off the ground, and I'll show you what I mean. See, they're just loaded, hanging with blackberries everywhere, and we use these step-in plastic fence posts to support them, just to keep them up off the ground. But they don't have to have it. But it's helpful, especially when you have birds and chickens running around. So, but these things are loaded with berries. And this is only 2 plants. This is only 2 blackberry bushes, okay? And you see here's some new canes coming up. So I think each plant has thrown off 3 new canes, but they have produced a multitude of berries, and they're still blooming, by the way. They're still blooming. So they're looking wonderful. So those are obviously doing really good. We're excited about them. This is only the 2nd full year, maybe, of those. So they're looking great. And from there, I'm going to show you something else that is absolutely killing Angela, that she cannot harvest this. All right, because this would go really good with those blackberries, but we shouldn't harvest any of our rhubarb just yet. This rhubarb has done great. We planted it this year. This is a massive stalk of rhubarb. And we planted it in these muck buckets, 2 of them, okay, in containers, and they've done wonderful. Look at that, just how thick that is. And that's next to my hand. You see how thick that stalk is, and this one too. Those would go so well with those blackberries. Blackberry rhubarb crisp or something of that nature would be amazing. But it's really best not to harvest that rhubarb any of it this year. They say it can harm the crown itself, which is the roots. If you're cutting the stalks, it might send it into trying to regenerate those stalks rather than establish those roots, and may not be best for its long-term growth. Let's get into some of the container gardens down here, though. These taters, man, these Kennebec Taters. They're in these grow bags right here, you see at the bottom, and they're growing all the way up to the 4th tier of a 5-tier green stalk. So that's pretty tall. They've bloomed really well. See that? Blooms all over them. And hopefully that turns into some beautiful taters in them bags later. And these green stalks here, we've got a few of them planted, obviously. But this one we had, these are called Tom Thumb peas. We harvested some peas, just maybe 4 ounces of peas from them. But they look really good. They look, obviously you can tell they're wearing out, because they don't really handle warm weather. We haven't had the hottest weather yet this year, but it's getting that way. They're trying to regenerate, but I don't think they're going to make it. They probably won't make it, simply because we're supposed to be getting like mid to upper 90s this week. So that's probably going to absolutely destroy these peas. Now, in the process of that, does mean we have something else we can plant. So do me a favor, do Angela and I both a favor actually. Let us know in the comments below something that you would like to see if it can be grown in a green stalk, planting in mid-June as well. we have some ideas. I mean, any kind of squashes, melons, tomatoes, anything that you've seen us plant, or maybe you haven't seen us plant. Hey, can that be planted in a green stalk, so a container style growing in mid-June, and actually still get a harvest? Because we have some free space, we have some ideas, but we want to see what you guys would like to see grown. So we may actually plant one of these green stalks fully off of your recommendations. Angela did plant a watermelon seed here and here. I think this is a sugar baby bush watermelon seed right there. I think it's already sprouted. So we do have a pocket already grown, already planted in a watermelon seed, and we're gonna hopefully see how that goes. And behind me, you're gonna see here, this one is our green stalk full of peanuts. It's looking great. I'm excited to see if we can get a great harvest of peanuts out of here. It'd be really cool to see if you can actually grow a lot of peanuts in your backyard, on your patio even. Hey, this is actually sprouted late, looks like, but it's still got a sprout. So these are doing really good. This one, we had 2 seeds in there, so it didn't sprout there. 1 seed didn't sprout here, but overall, man, it's done great. And even these down here that got ate on by a rabbit have regenerated, and they're holding on. And this green stalk, again, this one's going to be awesome. It's on a spinner, and we got tomatoes planted in it. These cucumbers here, they took on some pest damage, but they're holding on. And there's one. See this right here? This is the culprit. If you see it in there, if you can see right in there, he's the culprit. Kill him. Whoop, he's gone. Those are the culprits that are doing that to your plants. If you have any of that on things, those are the culprit. That's the bad boy. But overall, tomatoes are looking really good. Basil in there, obviously doing really good. So we're excited. This feels like we can get a really nice harvest out of this green stalk. I mean, overall, we have got like 47 tomatoes planted, I think, in the garden and in the green stalks and in these grow bags. So we're looking to have a massive tomato harvest. Again, it's very important to us. We use a lot of canned tomatoes in general, but also you can make sauce, pasta sauce, pizza sauce, and salsa. So with all those things, we can make product with the tomatoes that we grow. So tomatoes do mean a big deal to us. Okay, tomatoes are massively important to us, as they are to most people, because a fresh tomato out of your garden, so much better than store-bought stuff, right? So it's very important to us. Sweet taters looking great. Again, the rain has been a big deal for us. Got them really well established. Again, this bucket, or this tote right here, we're doing the trash can method. It's growing well. Gonna have to get some more dirt in that soon. And these over here are full of dirt, and that we've done in the same method. And you can see how well they've grown. So it'd be really nice to be able to get massive harvest of taters out of these 3 totes. Goodness, there's more here than I thought, right? Angela wanted me to show you something. Let's see if I can find it. We have these peach trees, or a peach tree in a mug bucket, and they've grown some peaches. Don't know how big they're gonna get. Again, we planted them, I forget when we planted them, maybe last spring, so spring of 2021. So let's just see how well they're doing here. That's a really nice looking peach, and obviously it's not huge, and there's my thumb. So, but it's interesting. Blueberries in the grow bags are looking really good. See those 2 over there as well. Now right here is where we had all these melons planted. We had 4 sugar baby bush watermelons planted over here, 2 black diamond watermelons right here, and then 6 cantaloupes over here. And as you can see, nothing but a few weed sprouts left, because there's a little here and there, but because one night rabbit decided he wanted them instead. So again, we've replanted those. We're going to plant some more here in a little bit. We replanted those, put another one in that green stalk, and it's just, we're fighting for them because we want some really nice melons. And behind me is something we haven't really shown you very much, just put simply because last year they didn't do good at all. This year they're looking really good. So I'm going to show you these raspberries. Raspberries are looking great. They're thick and full. This is I think they're called Crimson Night. raspberry. So they're going to be it's not a black raspberry, but they're a dark red raspberry that double crop. So you get raspberries on them, you know, early summer, late spring, early summer, and then they'll produce on the old canes, and then they'll produce on all these new canes. The new canes will produce again into the fall. So here's one actually. It's ready to pop. It looks like. See, you got to be careful because you'll damage them, but they should just slide right off. See, yep, slides right off. It's a really nice raspberry. So we've been kind of snacking on them a little bit. It looks pretty clean. Really nice. Over here we have these magnolia tendril sugar snap peas that the rabbit had ate on earlier in the year. We put this fence up. They regenerated, and look, they're growing. We've got all kinds of blooms. We got a couple that are growing here. These are gonna be awesome. They can typically handle a little bit of heat. We'll see how they do with this heat coming up this week. But they typically do really well. Now, one last thing I think I'll show you right now. It's not everything, obviously, but I mean, this is the last thing we've chronicled that the rabbit's been eating on. These are our beets. I had to replant the beets completely, and now they're gonna need a little work today. I completely replanted them, and now we've got maple trees growing in them, but also they've regenerated, or they've come back up, you know, the ones I replanted. So they're here, but I've got to do some, I need to do some work on them. It's part of what we're doing today, is I need to get some work in on those. I need to get all those weeds out of them, the maple trees out of them, and need to get those thinned and get some dirt put up around them, which is the trick to getting some really nice beets. So we're going to show you that here in a little bit. All right, wardrobe change because it's getting too warm for those sleeves. That t-shirt was way too warm on me. So first thing we're going to do is we have these two grow bags that we planted carrots in 6 weeks ago that had sprouted and were doing okay, and rabbit got in there, sheared them off, right? Okay, it's probably too late for those carrots, even though they handle the heat okay. It's just going to be too warm, and I don't want to waste my time on some carrots that ain't going to do anything, when we could do something kind of maybe a little more adventurous, and something that some backyard growers may actually want to see how effective it is, which is going to be plant some cantaloupes in these grow bags. All right. So Angela, okay, what melon do you have?
I'm doing the Hell's Best.
Well, let's see it. There we go. There we go. Hell's Best.
Cantaloupe.
Yep. So we're going to try those cantaloupes in these grow bags. They don't need a ton of space, do they?
No, they don't root real deep, so they don't need a ton of dirt. Yeah. I'm gonna pop about 2 seeds in each place in case one doesn't germinate. Right. And I'm just doing 2 on each side. So
these are 10-gallon grow bags that we had the carrots in. They didn't pan out for us, so we're not gonna waste this space though. We're gonna try to do something fun and get some cantaloupes growing. And
we'll redo carrots in the fall.
Yeah, carrots. Our carrots are doing great late summer to fall. So let's just back off of those and try to get some cantaloupes. That'll work.
There we go.
Growing melons has kind of been the bane of our existence to an extent, because we will love them, but we've had an extremely hard time getting them to grow and ripen here. So we're going to just do it again. You know, obviously over there we've had trouble getting them to stay growing without being ate on. And we're going to try some more there. Again, we got 1 seed in the green stalk, so let's just see if we can get them done right. All right, time for a chicken check. We just heard one of them hollering. When I say hollering, it means cackling. Hey kiddos. Hey Gracie. Toadie. The sweetness. I think a little Ruthie may have laid an egg. Let's see. Ruthie, did you lay an egg? Ruthie. Let's see. No, not yet. It's okay, Ruthie. She may have just been getting aggravated. She was cackling, but those little whiting true blues, that's what they're called. This is a breed, whiting true blue. Her and another one. They like to cackle. They do a lot of cackling, but they do a lot of egg laying too, so we kind of we'll live with it. And Angela just replanted this whole row of beans. She went a little thicker than what we normally do, because the amount of roly-poly bugs in here eating eating up the bean seeds and eating off the beans as they sprout is crazy. So she went a little thicker, went down this whole row. It's about a 50-foot row, I think. I think it's about 50 feet on this row. And so we went thicker than normal just in case they start eating on these seeds. Maybe we'll get them germinated anyways. But there they are. So those, I got to cover them up. And then while she was doing that, I just went through and started hacking up honeysuckle. You got wild grapevines and honeysuckle that goes up through here and just gets in the way. It makes it ridiculously tough to mow, to weed, to garden. It'll attach itself to this trellis, and it's just a big pain in the butt, and it's all off of the property next door to us. But so I went through and just started cutting it off. I'm sure it probably drives Angela crazy, but if I get in mode like that, I'm a cut it up, throw it away, burn it up, burn it all down, start over type person. I will get in a mode of just cutting it all up, digging it up, burning it up, whatever, I don't care, and get rid of it all and start over. That's how I like to do things. I'm sure it drives Angela crazy, but she deals with it anyways. All right, y'all, I got them weeded, finally. I got to cut this one out. That's a tree trying to start. I finally got all this stuff weeded. You know, everything's left is beets now. Beets and onions. Onions are weeded. They're flopping over everywhere. Garlic has been weeded. It's doing good. These onions over here. Oh, maybe missed one weed. How'd I see that? There we go. Onions looking good. But hey, this is the price you pay for some beets and onions. All right. That's the price you pay for it. But now what's left is I need to thin them. See, what happens is these, again, the beets were cluster seeds. Okay, so you see here, there's actually 2 plants come up from one seed. Well, the beet is not going to grow like that. So what you're going to need to do is pick one and thin it. And now you see here, you can see there's a lot of space here. Some of these didn't come up, which is fine. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to separate these two, right? Give them space to grow. Then I'm going to replant this one. Okay, I'm going to put it down in there deep. And you need to mound this dirt up. Okay, so you got to put that in there and mound the dirt up, because these greens need good support from the dirt to grow and produce a good beet. Okay, so like this one right here, this one looks really good, but so does this one. So I'm going to take this, I'm going to separate them. Okay, ooh, then I'm going to knock the camera over. I'm fogging up my lens because it's humid out here. It just rained. But when you separate it, see, you have a beet and there's still root there. Okay, then you replant it wherever you got room. So I've got room right here, so I'm going to replant it right here. Just put it down in that dirt. Line this up. Getting straight. And then push this one down in here. So one thing I'm noticing is that there's holes. See, there's a hole up here. They'll knock the camera sideways. There's some holes in my dirt. Something's been tunneling around, and that's gonna be bad news for any kind of root crop, because it's gonna be hard for it to have roots to grow if something keeps tunneling. We had that issue across most of our raised beds this year. In fact, the ones down the bottom end have really, the bottom end of my yard have really struggled. I planted Swiss chard down there, and it hasn't been able to grow because something keeps tunneling. I think it's probably a vole. Voles like to tunnel and eat roots, and that's bad news for root crops and things and everything really. So that's really tough, because I can feel space under here. So we'll have to see how these are actually going to be able to do. But no matter what, you got to try. You don't just give up and let the varmints have it all. But what you need to do to grow good beets, okay? Let's just be honest. Let's get with the program here. They need to thin. You got to thin the seeds, okay, and then mound up good dirt around them, okay, so they have support. That, see, this is real floppy, like this over here on the left. See, it's real floppy. But once I'm gonna press it down in there a little bit, I'll mound this dirt up, okay. That's gonna be a good beet one day. Here's the same thing, okay? There's 2 seeds here, or there's 2 plants. Separate them. And put one down in here, okay? Give it some good depth. Don't be scared to give it a little force, okay? It's gonna be okay. Then press this one down in. Get these onions off of it. But press this one down in there. And just press, and like I feel there's space down there where something's been tunneling. Pull those out; those stink. But so I'm gonna do again. Do that, and this is the price you pay for some good beets. All right, here's the end result of all that thinning and transplanting and redoing. Got them all done. And Angela and I both came in here and weeded the these squash beds out while we had it. This is green cushaw, green striped cushaw there. We got honey nut and butter and a butter bush. So honey nut squash and butter bush squash in here as well. And there's probably the hardest work in the garden, but it's fruitful. Hey, be honest with you, filthy hands and filthy knees produce a fruitful garden. That's a fact. Come on, kiddos. Let's go. So there you have it. Chickens do love apples and bananas. Thank you guys so much for watching. We do appreciate it. Hey, my name is Jason, the Art Creation Homestead. We love y'all. God bless you and goodbye.